right, today we are going to be talking about operations with radicals, and example 8 is all about adding and subtracting radicals. So this is really similar to combining like terms, and in order to add or subtract radicals, we must have like radicals that we can combine. So off to the side, I put an example of some like radicals. And as you can see, really the most important part, in order for them to be considered like radicals, they have to have the same index, so the degree in which you're taking the radical, and then also the same radicand, which is what's on the inside. So since both of these are the square root of 3 of 3, they are like radicals and we could combine them. Here we have cube root of y, we can combine them. Square root of 5x, square root of 5x, they can be combined. So what's on the outside does not matter, but the symbol and what's on the inside is what's the most important for combining like terms. So in letter A, I can see that I am able to combine 5 square root 7 and negative 8 square root 7, or 5 minus 8. So I'm going to go ahead and do that math, and I get negative 3 multiplied by the square root of 7. And then the square root of 11 has nothing to combine with, so I will just leave that as the end by adding the square root of 11. And that is my final answer. In letter B, it doesn't appear that we have any like radicals. But if I look at it again, I know that I can simplify the square root of 20 so that I can have a like radical with the square root of 5. So I'm going to go ahead and break this down so that it's seen as the square root of 4 multiplied by the square root of 5. I've simplified that expression a little bit further, which then gives me 2 multiplied by the square root of 5. So the square root of 20 is equal to 2 multiplied by the square root of 5. 10 square root of 5 is just staying the same, nothing's changed. So now when I look at my expression, I know that I have like radicals and I can combine the two. So my final answer is 12 multiplied by the square root of 5. In letter C, I recognize that I have 6 cube root of x and 2 cube root of x. So since those endings are the same, I am able to combine, and my final answer is 8 multiplied by the cube root of x. All right, here are your monitoring progress problems 23 through 25. So go ahead, click pause, give them a try, and then I will walk you through the solutions. So in number 23, I see that I have 2 like radicals here, which is 3 square root 2 plus 10 square root 2. So I'm going to go ahead and combine those, and I get 13 multiplied by the square root of 2. Square root of 6 has nothing that I can combine it with, so I just leave it off to the side. Notice that I've kept the sign the same. You don't want to change that. And that would be my final answer. In number 24, it does not appear that I have any like radicals. However, I can break apart and simplify the square root of 63 so that I will get some of the like radicals. So, square root of 63, I can pull out the square root of 9 times the square root of 7. So the square root of 9 simplifies to 3 square root 7. Now what makes this a little bit tricky is that I do have to still keep the 6. So 6 is being multiplied by 3 times the square root of 7, and everything else will stay the same. The next thing I'll want to do before I simplify further is do this multiplication here. So 6 times 3 is 18. So here is my more simplified expression. Now I notice that I do have like terms, and so I can just subtract like normal, leaving the ending the same with the square root of 7. 4 minus 18 is negative 14, and then square root of 7 stays the same. And this is my final answer. In number 4, I notice that I have like radicals. 4 cube root of 5x and subtracting 11 cube root of 5x. Those are like terms. So 4 minus 11 is negative 7, and then the cube root of 5x will stay the same.